All right, so I recorded the other day a part 2 where I worked on this neck and I got it shaped and I used my jig I made and all kinds of things, and go to edit the video and realize that on my little camera over here on the side that does all my close-ups, I didn't record anything. It did not record. So I just deleted everything, didn't even make a video. I was a little frustrated. But I'm back in the saddle again. Whatever. All right, so anyways, this is what happened. I shaped it. I got it down to a 12-inch radius, and I sanded, and I sanded, and I sanded. I've got it really smooth. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is I've got some pore filler over there. I'm gonna put some pore filler in it today. Seal it the rest of the way up.
Liar!
Not really for sure what all we're gonna do, but I guess we'll figure it out as we go along and see what we can get done. Yeah, so that's where we're at. All right, let's see if we can mark this out. Need a pencil. So where do we go? Do we start chopping on this and seeing if we can get this set on here? We need the truss rod in, so I need to figure out the truss rod. I should really look at another guitar neck, see where that comes out, but I think that's probably going to be it. So I need to draw a center line down this as well. Let's put a mark where this truss rod is going to go. I think that'll work. That should probably be something you do in the beginning, is actually mark the center line first and keep it on there. Be great. So I need to get my center ruler. Center mark is in the center. All right. Well, at least we have one of them right. Huh. All right. Guess that's a lesson learned today. Have the right tools, you'll get the right marks. Let me see if I have a 6mm bit, which I think 6mm is actually 1/4 inch or somewhere close. Yes, 6.36, and this is 6 on the dot. Yep, I'm making that work. Now let's figure it out how we're gonna router down the middle of this. Might have to make a jig. Get jiggy with it. It's got 0.34 inches. So if we went 1/2 inch deep, let's just set this at 1/2 inch. That looks really good. I think that's what should happen. Let's go 1/2 inch deep. Then I'm gonna need to be able to put edges up for the router to go on. It'll be the same height. Yeah. So I need to make sure this thing is square, which I don't think it is. Oh no, it's not. So I'm gonna have to cut it down and run it through here. Square this up the best I can so I can get a good center line. But how am I gonna get that jig to run down that center line? This won't work. It needs to be wider. All right, let's try something else. This is just some 1/2 inch MDF, some glue board, whatever. I'm gonna cut it up, give me some good pieces going. We'll make us a little jig to do guitar necks. So I've got a plastic base on here. Let's measure this thing. We're looking at 4 inches and just a fuzzy nubbin. So we don't want to go quite 4 inches. We want to go just a little bit above 4 inches. Now time to check the accuracy of old $12 Hobby Lobby. It's pretty accurate, like really accurate. Let's check the offset in millimeters and what we get. Looks good to me. We're gonna go with that and see what happens. It's close enough, I guess. So there's about a millimeter difference from one end to the other. So it'll be really close. I guess that's close enough for straight. Chop it. Right there. Equals 51 and a half, 51 and a half. Oh, they're gonna be just shy, but I can make it work because we're not routing all the way up here anyways. We just need to cover this. So I'm using them. I'm cutting it in half. That's what we're doing. 51 and 5/8. Excuse my math. This is where millimeters comes in handy, because if you had millimeters, you just divide it by 2 and you're good. But when you got all these halves and stuff, it bugs me. But I got a calculator that helps. 51 5/8 divided by 2. So I know you all are probably screaming at me. Equals 2'1" and 13/16. Good night. 2'1". We'll just say 7/8 because that's close enough. The blade's gonna chop it anyways. And when you're making a jig, boy, spit it out, Merrick. You can get there. When you're making a jig, it doesn't have to be like super accurate in some of the measurements. You know, you just need to worry about the ones that's going to get you there. Yeah. Yep. We're there, dude. We're there. Got some new activator today. So for those of you who don't know, this activator makes CA glue or super glue, crazy glue, whatever you want to call it, dry almost instantly. So you get a seal. And when you're making stuff like this, it just makes it where it goes a lot faster, a lot easier. I'm probably going to go ahead and put a couple screws in this just to make sure that it holds together over time. And I'm really not going to worry too much here about where I get them. I just put 3 or 4 in the side just to make sure it holds. And I've got I don't know if it focus. This puts a little extra around that pilot hole so your screw sinks in all nice and pretty. Oh, sometimes my dummy self gets ahead of myself.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
I think I can still mark it though, so we'll figure it out here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Is this too wide or is it skinny enough? Oh yeah, it'll work. So here I'm marking the center line. So when I put my fretboard or my neck down, I can get it right in the center. Okay. Let's put some tape on her. Oh, and make sure you have it the right way. If you're right-handed, make sure you're laying it in here correct. So I can already tell I was about to mess that up. Just gonna mount this down so when I go to route it doesn't slide all over. I'm gonna try to stick it somewhere where I can reuse the holes. Line it up with these two edges. Then in the future, I can just keep putting it in the same spot. I'll try to stick the battery to the screw. It's not gonna work. Probably could have made it a little bit longer, but I can make it work. So my brother told me I don't talk enough in my videos. So if you guys don't like what I say, you can blame my brother, and I'll list his email down in the comment section for you to write him and tell him that you don't like hearing me talk.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Anyways, that was a joke. Maybe. Now I'm going to set the height of this. I'm not going to go full depth. I'm going to take it in passes. Like I said, my full depth is going to be in a 1/2 inch. So we can put a 1/2 inch up here and just try to make it look about halfway or so. We'll start there. I've got 2 marks laid out the distance of my truss rod. Do my best to stay as close to that as possible so I don't screw up. Could have swore I took better measurements. But you get to see my mess ups. 101. And I need to be 103. But my bottom piece is 103. So my boards are bowing in from the edge and keeping me from getting in there. There we go. Let's see if this works. Let's lower it down a little bit more. Well, I hope it worked. It looks good. Also looks like I got a bunch of sawdust in my nice little case. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Now I'm tracing around this bigger edge with it lined up. I'll have to take that out with a chisel, which I am not a pro at all, any way, shape, or form. I think I'll take it out of here and then I'll put it down and I'll do it somewhere else, on this edge. Yeah. But the jig works. Might be able just to hit it with a little bit of sandpaper a couple times and just get that millimeter I need. Go ahead and just glue it down like I did the other one, right directly on here. I can't see anything because of my big head. I actually don't think that I have to clamp this back in here when I fix this, because I'm going to be drilling the bottom out, so this can slide through. So it doesn't necessarily have to be pushed in and clamped all the way hard. It just needs to be snug on the sides, and then also on the face over here. It's going to have my scallop coming down to offset this neck and put the strings lower. So I really think, as long as I just glue it and shove it in here real good, we'll be golden. And it's going to be hidden under the nut. You're not going to see anything from it. Put this aside, and while this dry, well, not really put it aside because we're going to need it. We can go ahead and start working on the body and getting this into the body. Now, I'm not doing this exact layout, but this should get us close. What I'm doing is I'm cutting pieces, and I'm making sure I'm getting the straight side, the factory side of that piece of MDF. So when I line it up here, it will be straight. And I'm using this because it's the exact same. This is my actual router, so everything should match up nice with this. So this should be the exact same. And I can come back and put these on. And in theory, you know, I'm all theory here, this should work. Oh, come on. Just cut. Just cut. That's all I need. I don't have any router bits that I can do this with, so this is going to be postponed, and we'll move on to something else while I wait for a router bit to come in. Let's go ahead and see if we can't just chop that off, and then we'll sand it down flush. Cheat. Let's cheat. We're going to cheat. I think I'm going to make the thickness about 16 millimeters. I'm going to take this over to the bandsaw and cut it and just get it close, and then I'm going to use my spindle sander and get my little curve up here to this line, the back side of the nut. I think I'm forgetting to talk like my brother said to do. But I'm doing my best here, okay? Because I'm not good at cameras, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing. So maybe one day I'll be this super cool dude on this channel for you that you enjoy watching. Or maybe it's just my kids will sit here and watch me and think how cool I am. That's not gonna happen.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
So I'm gonna use the curve, the bigger curve. I want a bigger swoop on the end here. And then this flat part to finish this up and then still get me closer to this back nut, and then I can drill through this bottom and put my truss rod in. I think I'll finish the rest of that by hand, but really she looks pretty good. At least for what I'm going for. And I'm tired of getting sawdust in my eyes. I don't want to run 60 grit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up a little bit, just smooth it out for a glue surface. And then we'll get this truss rod in here, fretboard glued on. I don't know if it's a good idea or not to be that far ahead, but I guess I do need to drill this out. So let's find out what size of drill I got to have here first. Let's take these steps in the right order. It is, looks like a 9 millimeter drill. That's 9.5. Is that gonna be too wobbly? I'm sending it. We're just gonna send it. We're gonna send it. Look, we're learning together, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to screw up so you don't have to, and then we can come back together in the end and say, hey, that was stupid.
Get ready, everybody. He's about to do something stupid.
And then I'll use some other wood and I'll do it again until I get it right. Ha! Still ended up busting that thing out of there. So I'm thinking I might not have gone deep enough. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. She's tight. She's real tight. deeper. I think there comes a time when you say,
That was stupid.
maybe I should start over. I think that time is coming up on this neck. I think the fretboard will be fine. Yep. Yep. Take this as a lesson learned. Put it to the side and we'll start another one. Let me get this going through the planer. Holy moly. At least I think I got enough I can take off on this one. It'll work. So let's try again. Maybe you'll get to see all that you missed yesterday. Or what was that, day before yesterday, when I didn't hit record right. So let's do that. Just to show you, it's all a learning process. And I like to learn, obviously.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
So I'm gonna take this board, because this MDF, it's 3/4. It's really flat. Really flat. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna mount it down and use this as my flat reference. So as I stick it through my planer over here, my thickness planer, it'll get one side flat and then I can flip it over and run it through the other side. And I've already cut this piece of MDF down to like 12 inches, I think, because that's a 12.5, so I know it fits. I know it fits. I'm glad this board's like 2 inches thick. You only need an inch thick for a neck if you're doing like a fender style. So I'm just gonna support it. It doesn't go anywhere. But we're gonna send it.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
Let's do it. I'm going to trace this out. You can see that we need to add a little piece on there. Well, I'm glad you stuck around with me through even the mess ups. If you're still here, still watching, hanging out. All right. Now we need to let that set up, whatever it is. We're gonna let it sit like a dog, hang out. We'll get back to it. So stay. Good boy.
Wash away all the pain of yesterday.
And with all that being done, I think I'm kind of at a point where I just can't do anything. One, because I messed up, and two, because I don't have the right tools. I'm gonna go get on Amazon. I'm I'm gonna find me a nice little trim bit that'll get in here with a bearing. Get that cleared out. So I'd really like to get that. I want to get this neck. Well, now that I've done it, I've got to make sure that's perfect. So whenever I use this template on here and we router it out, I mean, it's got to be bee's knees. Fit right in there. That's what we'll do later. So I get some more tools and stuff. And yeah, crapola. It's kind of where I'm at. It's just big crapola. Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Holly, I love you.